How's everyone doing? Before I begin, I just want to apologize for not being an experienced public speaker. I'm probably going to spend most of my time staring at this piece of paper. But it's not my notes. It's a picture of a gigantic drink that I'm going to get as soon as this is over. I read somewhere the perfect best man speech should last as long as it takes for the groom to make love. Amanda told me I have 3 minutes to get this done. So, ladies and gentlemen, please raise a glass to the happy couple. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Kyle. I'm Kurt's brother. Kurt chose me to be his best man, and I'm honored. He has so many great people in his life that could be up here instead of me. He probably should have picked someone else because it's payback. Remember that time you smashed me in the face with that shovel? Yeah, now they know. Kurt and I spent a lot of time growing up as kids. I always had to look after him, look after the little guy on our adventures. Either Kurt was accident prone or I was really bad at looking after him because it turned out that Kurt got hurt a lot. Kurt and I would love to bike to this little creek in the summer to go fishing. We would catch the fish and cast them back into the river to try and catch bigger fish. We were raised on a point system. The bigger the fish, the more points you got. One day, Kurt went to hop over this guardrail and cut his foot really bad. I told Kurt to stay there and I'd bike home to get my mom. I biked home so quick I thought I was going to die. I could barely breathe. I got my mom and we sped back to get Kurt. We threw him into the van and they took off to the hospital. And there I was standing in front of Kurt's bike. I had to drive his bike all the way back home. This creek was not close to our house at all. I never wanted to see that bike again. We used to go on ski vacations. One day we made this jump that went over this creek. It was a little risky. The ski hill was closing, and on our last run of the day, we all raced down the hill and hit the jump, flying over the creek and headed back to the lodge. As soon as we got into the lodge, I saw my mom. She asked, "Where's Kurt?" I looked around and immediately I had no idea where he was. We couldn't find him anywhere. After searching for some time, I ran over to the creek and there he was, hugging the snow-covered creek side like a mountain goat. Poor Kurt didn't make it over. He went right into the side of the creek and his skis were stuck in the side of the hill, buried. He could not get out. It was my sole responsibility to look after Kurt, to make sure he was okay. As a young boy, I found myself constantly asking myself, where are all the grown-ups? Because clearly I was failing. Kurt and I used to bike home from school. On this particular day, it was raining pretty hard. Kurt was flying through the path, coming up on the road. Kurt hits his brakes, but the brakes don't work at all. He flies into the intersection and hits a car. The car slams on his brakes right on Kurt's foot. I'm behind him at this moment. Where am I? He is clearly in distress. He's hammer-fisting the car, screaming words I've never heard of before. I don't think it was English. The driver got out of his car in shock, seeing this child screaming. Kurt's foot's trapped underneath the back passenger side wheel being crushed. The gentleman looked at him and said, and I quote, "I'm late for piano lessons." He got back into his car and took off. Thank God one of Kurt's classmates' parents saw the whole thing and pulled him out. I helped Kurt into the car and she drove him to home. This happened around the corner from our house. Not 2 minutes later, I saw my mom's van speed down the road. I knew they were on the way to the hospital. So there I was, standing all alone at the scene of the crime in pouring rain. I was trying to gather my thoughts. I was looking around and there it was, lying on the ground, right in front of me, just staring at me. It was Kurt's bike. No one ever saw that bike again. Growing up, if something bad would happen, it would happen to Kurt. Until one day, something amazing happened to him. He met Amanda. Amanda, you look beautiful on this day of yours. You're a funny, smart, successful person, and now you can spend the rest of your life driving Kurt to the hospital. I'd like you all to join me in wishing the new Mr. and Mrs. Bird all the wealth, health, and happiness in the world. I'd like to raise a glass to both of you with the astounding assurance that now your new life begins, and the everlasting knowing that above all, love wins.
Thank you, Danielle. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Taylor, and I've had the privilege of being Amanda's maid of honor for this awesome event. Before I get into my stories of how I know these two, I just wanted to say thank you again for everybody for attending, and a big thank you to those who helped me with all of our extravagant pre-wedding events. I appreciate all of your help with that, so thanks to everyone here. So... So Amanda and I have now known each other for about 5 years. My first job, I'm part of the Labatt crew that's here. My first job was in our Montreal brewery. I was on full-time overnight shift, and I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. At one point, worst job I've had. At one point, I got a call from the Edmonton brewery's HR manager, who at the time I did not know her. And she calls and she says, "We have an offer for you. Really excited to bring you out to Edmonton. I know you don't know anyone here, but I am happy to go and visit a bunch of apartments for you and take videos and pictures, and you can sign up for an apartment before you even get here, and I'll help you out with all this." And to be honest, I thought it was like a little too nice. I thought it was, I didn't feel comfortable asking a total stranger to go and look at 15 apartments for me to sign up. So I declined the offer. Thank you, but no, I don't want to do that. And I arrive in Edmonton, and I find out that I am sitting in the same pod as said HR manager. And we get chatting, and within a few weeks, we knew we were going to be friends. And she comes out and tells me that she thought that I was a total bitch for not for not accepting this offer to go and look at apartments. And meanwhile, I'm thinking that she is this crazy nice woman that is trying to find me apartments. So that's honestly, the rest was kind of history from there. We still have a very brutally honest friendship to this day, and I love you for that. So that's the story of Amanda and I. Thanks. I only ended up living in Edmonton for about 8 months, but in that time, Amanda and I did a ton of road trips together to Calgary. Her long distance 3-hour drive boyfriend was living there at the time, and I had friends that I visited, so we did this a lot. I would say probably 10 times while I was there. 3-hour drive, chatted about lots of things. But the first time that we did this carpool together, she comes out of her apartment, and I had a Civic, relatively small car, and she brings this heaping pile of laundry in her hamper, and she puts it in the back of my car. And I'm like, "Oh, do you not have washer dryer in your building? Are you?" And she's like, no, I just bring it because Kurt helps me with it. And I later found out pretty quickly as I go to pick her up from Kurt's house that Kurt is fully doing this. There's no, Amanda's not helping out with any of this, which obviously was, it's kind of the first thing I'm like, wow, this guy, okay. There was another time that we drove, and she had a cold, and this man straight up made homemade chicken noodle soup, from the bone chicken noodle soup broth to make her soup to make her feel better. So unnaturally, and I say that with, I'll explain. I was like, this guy is an absolute keeper. And for those of you who know me, I don't say that naturally about most of my friends' significant others. So this is very much coming from the heart. This one's one of a kind. Sorry, my phone locked. So it's been amazing to watch this relationship over the last 5 years. It's grown a lot. So from those long distance trips in the West, to moving to their Toronto condo where Kurt was trying to grow tomatoes on the 27th floor balcony, which was hilarious. They didn't survive, to surviving a pandemic together, to buying their first house, adopting their baby Milo, to this event here today. I am so happy that my best friend has found such a compatible, amazing person. And I'm happy that I have Kurt and Milo in my life forever now, too. You guys are amazing. So congratulations to both of you. I love you both so much. And a big toast to the two of you to a lifetime of happiness.
Hello. Okay. On behalf of Tom and I would like to say hello to everyone. It's great to be here. What? What? It's great to be here with you all today at this amazing venue to celebrate Kurt and Amanda's wedding day. It's such a beautiful ceremony. And by the way, I think you all look very fabulous. All in your dress to your nines. Especially Kurt and Amanda, the bride and groom. Congratulations to Mr. Kurt and Mrs. Amanda Birds. We are very happy to officially welcome Amanda into our family fold. And I say officially because we've already considered you part of the family, Amanda, for many years. And of course, little Milo, too. He's our grand puppy and very much part of the family. It's been a busy few months for Kurt and Amanda preparing for this wedding. And this month especially, not only was it their wedding month, but last Friday, the 9th, was Kurt's birthday. 35 years ago, Kurt began his journey to arrive here on this day. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Kurt and his journey. As a young child, he was a pretty happy guy, easy to get along with, liked to go fishing, play soccer, hang with his friends and family. Anytime in the hospital, too. Yeah, we've had lots of those. And as a teen, there were more challenges, like going to school. Now, anything seemed more interesting than going to school, like soccer, basketball, working, video games, parties, and sleeping. Favorite pastime, sleeping. His last year was the worst. I had visions of him living in our basement until he was 35. So that motivated me to wake him up and drive him to school more times than I care to remember. But we did it. We passed. It was during those teen years that he and Amanda first became friends, but then they parted ways pursuing their individual interests. Kurt decided to enroll in electronics technician program in Toronto. He spent 3 years there and graduated with a degree in electronics engineering technology. He subsequently moved to Calgary to begin his career with General Dynamics Canada, and he's still with them today. Now, during that time, coincidentally, his friend Steve Barber lived in Edmonton, and it was around that time the two friends made plans to meet up along with not only the only person we know of right in this room named Amanda. They met up, and shortly after that, Kurt and Amanda began their romance. And here we are today, celebrating their romance. So let's raise a glass to Kurt and Amanda. Now, before I leave you, I'd like to share a poem I wrote for Kurt. Now, it seems like only yesterday, you're a little boy at play. I turned, now stands a fine young man celebrating his wedding day. Much happiness I wish for you and your lovely wife to last forever as you both explore the path of life. Proud of you, Kurt. Love you both. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us today on Amanda and Kurt's big day. I hope you'll all agree with me that so far the day has been absolutely beautiful. It is an honor to welcome you all and to see so many who have traveled from far and wide to celebrate this special day with us. I would like to welcome into our families Kurt, his parents, Brenda and Tom, Brian and Wendy, and the rest of his wonderful family. welcome. Amanda is extremely fortunate to have both her parental and maternal grandmothers, Shirley Swant and Muriel Limlaw, with us today. Don't these two young ladies both look lovely? For the grandfathers that are absent today, Bob Swant and Leslie Limlaw, we know that you were up there celebrating this wonderful day, drinking a blue ribbon beer, because we all know that you would never buy the expensive stuff. Amanda, they would be proud that you work for a beer company, and I'm sure you would have been asked about a family beer discount by now. A toast to them, please. I'm a strong mom, I have a strong daughter, and after this, I know I will need a strong drink. Amanda, watching you grow from my little girl into the beautiful bride before us today has filled me with such joy. It is with love and pride and joy that I stand here today. Although you are too old to hold my hand, you will always hold my heart. I am incredibly lucky to have you as a daughter and as a treasured friend too. I feel blessed to welcome Kurt into our lives and thank him for the laughter. And Kurt, we won't mention that diving incident at Rick's Cafe in Jamaica. But I see a theme here with accidents from your family. So I don't feel so bad now getting him to dive off of those boards. And happiness he brings our daughter. May the two of you have a long, happy, and healthy life together. To Amanda and Kurt, cheers.
I don't know how I follow that. I'm told I was supposed to keep this short. So I tried. Short. This is short for me.
We know.
Your mom and I are aware of how just blessed we've been to have you in our lives, Amanda. It's been an absolute joy to watch a very talkative, extremely inquisitive little girl blossom into the very beautiful, clever, compassionate, and extremely loving young lady that we've had the pleasure of guiding along the way. One often wonders as a parent just how your children will turn out. You wonder what sort of life decisions they will make, especially those that you have no control over. What friends they'll choose. Who they'll pick as a partner to share their life with. Will that person love and care for them as well as you would? Well, for what it's worth, Amanda, your mom and I think you have made an excellent choice in Kurt. I will get through this tonight, I promise you. Amanda, there's so much to say about you. There are many humorous and memorable stories your mom and I have had the pleasure to share. However, you already hate my long stories. Sorry. But you know I wouldn't finish without a piece of philosophical advice. To quote Socrates, by all means marry. If you get a good partner, you'll be happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. You've married a terrific man, and you will make a perfect wife. I won't bore you with lengthy pieces of parental advice. So here's my piece. This world is entirely yours, and it's only you who will determine its rules. I'm sure that you will build a reliable family home, your safe haven where you'll feel at ease, which will give you strength to withstand the storms and challenges of life ahead. To make a long story short, from Bob Marley to you, love the life you live the life you love together. On this journey, let me wish you both only love and good fortune. God bless. I got you.
All right, well, first off, thank you to our beautiful MC and bridesmaid, Danielle, for doing a fantastic job tonight. Big fan of the one-liners. Great job. I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. Some of you traveled, locally, some traveled across Canada, and some even internationally. So, big thanks to everyone. It's because of you that this day is so special for us. So, thank you to all of you who made it today. Gonna readjust this mic for a second. There we go. And I would like to thank everybody individually, but I would like to start drinking, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this short for everybody, so just bear with me. I would like to give a special thanks, first off, to Randy, also known as Handy Randy. Randy, just thanks for always being there for me and answering my many questions, whether it be mechanical, gardening, or just questions about life. You're always there with an answer and a helping hand. We truly appreciate all the support you give us, such as taking care of Milo when we want some alone time. I also cherish our weekends at the cottage and hanging out with you. And my favorite part is beating Amanda at euchre. So, happens often. So thank you, Randy, for everything that you do for us. Shirley, I wanted to thank you specifically. I remember the first time that I met the Swamp family on Christmas, I was pretty nervous. Within the first couple of minutes of introducing myself, you and I are already in a we're already chatting up a storm. So since the day that I met you, you've always treated me like one of your grandkids, and I wanted to thank you for welcoming me into your family. Yvonne and Courtney, thank you for including me in your family vacations to Jamaica. Definitely the most beautiful place I've ever been. I've learned a lot on these trips, including that Jamaican culture, that I love Jamaican food, and how to properly land when jumping off a cliff at Rick's Cafe. Feet first. We always have a lot of fun on our trips, and I'm looking forward to our next adventure. Thank you. And to all of you, thank you for raising such a smart, strong, and beautiful daughter, and thank you for allowing me to marry her. To my groomsmen, there's too many stories that I could talk about, and none that I could think of that were appropriate for this audience. So I'm just going to keep this short and saying thanks for always having my back, and I'll always have yours too. To my best man, Kyle, man, we've had a lot of good times together. Have you heard of some of the stories that he talks about? He's really helped me out over the years. And you've always been there for me. Whether it be buying me beer or skateboarding across town after I got in a fight in Halloween or many others. Well, I was dressed up as Richard Simmons, that's correct, yeah. Or rambling about my issues, you're always there. Not only are you my best man, you're the best big brother that I could ask for. Just know that you're always there for me, and I hope you know that I'll always be there for you too. Obviously, thank you to my beautiful wife. I think everyone in this room can agree that she looks stunning tonight. even more than usual. I'm sure that you have some sappy one-liner lined up for me, but I can say that you are the light of my life. You're my best friend, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you, babe. And last but certainly not least, thank you, Milo, for saving me at least one pair of socks for the wedding. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so I had to have the last word, right? Anyone that knows me knows that's appropriate. So hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Bird. And I would also like to start drinking, so I'm also going to keep this short and sweet. But first, I do have a few people that I would like to thank. So to Brenda and Tom, thank you for always being there to support Kurt and I, and for loving us unconditionally. You've always made me feel like another one of the kids. Even from the very first time I met you both, I had my own stocking at Christmas, even though Kurt only gave you like a 2-hour heads up that I was coming over. I think I got like all of the random things in the house put into a stocking just so I could feel included. I loved it. And I have so many great memories of our time together, like when you visit us in Toronto, our camping trips, and the time we spent at Lake Clear. And I can't wait to make more memories with you. But most importantly, a special thank you to Brenda for going to all those nerdy comic book movies with Kurt so that I don't have to. Appreciate that. To Brian and Wendy, thank you for welcoming me into your family as well. I am happy to say that I am the first and now official last girlfriend of Kurt's to sign your famous Christmas tablecloth guest book. But to all 4 of you, thank you for raising the man of my dreams, someone who is honest, caring, and always knows how to make me laugh. To my bridesmaids, you look absolutely stunning this evening. So thank you for putting up with me through this whole endeavor, listening to my many requests, my messages, and just anything I needed to vent through. And a special thank you to Taylor, who went above and beyond planning all of my wedding events. And you certainly have the future as a wedding or a party planner if this beer thing doesn't work out. And finally, to my husband, you look so handsome tonight. And yes, I do have a sappy one-liner for you. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but somebody much smarter and brighter than me once said that the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you figure out why. Well, you are my why, and I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. So thank you all for coming, and let's party.